A lot of gardeners think birds come through and pick holes out of your tomatoes and they're nothing but a pest in the garden. And yeah, it can happen sometimes, but the truth is birds are far better for your garden than they are bad for it. They come through and clean out a ton of pests. They're great for the biodiversity, and honestly, they're just fun to have around. So if you want more birds in your garden, and you should, this is the video to watch. We're gonna walk you through, using my house as an example, how I've taken it from a place where birds didn't want to hang out to pretty much a bird paradise. Put on your feathered cap and imagine you're a bird for a second. 5 years ago in my backyard, and it's completely barren. There's naked dirt on the ground and basically some weeds. You think you're hanging out here? You're definitely not. And when I moved in, there were pretty much no birds whatsoever. So we got to work planting all sorts of stuff. We have an orchard in the front yard. We pruned up some of the existing fruit trees so their structure improved, giving birds more shade, more protection, more cover. But we also planted out very specifically in certain areas. So you look at this pond back here, this had nothing there at all. And now there's plants of all types that the birds are able to flee to if they feel like they need protection, but also to just hang out in, so the birds don't just come for one part of the day and leave forever. They're here pretty much throughout the day, and this is why we're such a big no spray, especially no insecticide, if you can afford it, company here at Epic Gardening, because birds like the California towhee, which come to this garden all the time, they're big insectivores, so you don't want to be killing off their food. They won't be here if you do that. I recently harvested my first ever batch of homegrown grapes, and I have to say, first of all, they're absolutely delicious. But the question you asked me more than anything was, how did the birds not eat your grapes? Because I let them hang for a little bit of a long time, and there were no holes whatsoever. And the truth is, a lot of times when birds come through, pick your fruit, and they pick your tomatoes, they're actually going for the water, not the food. Now, one way I solve this is by putting a huge outdoor pond in my backyard, but that's not the most accessible option, so I'll show you what you can do in your home. This right here is your solution. Pretty inexpensive. It's a bird bath. We all know what a bird bath is, but there's a couple things that you have to know about how to place it. Near cover is a good idea because the birds want to feel safe. And then some sort of recirculation, it's optional, but I would recommend it. In this case, this is like a solar fountain recirculator. All it's doing is just using solar power to throw a little bit of water out, keeps that water moving so that mosquitoes and other bugs don't lay their eggs in here as often. You really don't want to create a mosquito breeding ground. Ask me how I know. I did it a couple years back. I paid the price for a season. I'm never going back to that lifestyle. It can be also helpful to have one with this nice gentle slope. There's some perforations here for the birds to stand on and kind of grip to. And then in the shade is ideal. So for part of the day, at least, this is in the shade. And we've seen birds coming to this. It takes some time for them to get used to it because of course we got the pond over there and all these beautiful bird feeders and forage. But I have to be honest, there's way less birds picking on my plants than there ever have been in seasons prior. I can hear some crows who I've befriended over my years here. Hello, Croby. Waiting for me to refill these feeders. The truth is the birds don't eat my fruit and vegetables in the garden, not only because of the water, but also because I give them food in the form of specific bird seed and feed that is targeted to the species that come to my house. So mine are empty. I'm gonna go over to the shed, grab some bird feed from Coolbirds, the sponsor of this video and our bird seed partner here at Epic. They provide all the seed. And the coolest part about them is some of their feed mixes solve a very common problem when you're trying to attract birds into your garden. And here we have it, Coolbirds Hearts on Fire, really the caviar of bird seed. Usually when you get a big bag of bird seed, you see a bunch of nonsense in there. This is sunflower hearts, no shells, nothing else. It really truly is kind of the caviar. I'm gonna fill it up here. So first of all, this is fantastic for the nutrition of the birds. They absolutely love it, but it's got red pepper extract on it, which solves the most annoying problem of bird feeders, along with the way that we've set up this specific feeder here. So you can see really a very slim pole, hard for something like a squirrel, the most annoying thing to come on your feeders, to get up. But even if they were to, there's red pepper extract on the sunflower seeds, which means that they really don't like to eat it. They will avoid it like the plague, and birds do not possess the ability to taste capsaicin, which is the extract or the compound that makes hot things hot. So it doesn't do anything to the birds whatsoever, but it deters everyone else, even maybe a pesky garden neighbor that wants to snack. A couple more feeders to fill here. This one I like to mix it up. That was just the sunflower hearts, the Hearts on Fire. This is No Mess Sad Squirrels. It's got some peanuts in there. It's got some other stuff going on, but on both, no shells. Because I don't know about you, when you see like a bird feeder and then you see all the shells at the bottom and the seeds spill and you get, they germinate sometimes and you have a garden you didn't even plan and maybe you don't even want. So in this case, that is not going to happen, which is fantastic. And it still has that red pepper extract. You can see there are different seeds in here, different forage, and it's nice and red because it's got that red pepper extract. I'll tell you, this particular feeder is going crazy, probably because we've also planted the sunflowers that are very tall. There's some natural forage for them there. And then there's some supplementary feed here. Nice little edge for them to hang out on. Might want to top these off with yet another mix. So if you want to attract jays and other birds, I mean, for us, it's a scrub jay that would come in here. This mix is decent. It's got the nut and fruit action. So there's some shells in here, but there's also some more extra kind of components here. The fruit being probably the most unique in the mix. But the cool thing about Cool Birds, compared to some random brand that you would find at any old store, let me just read off the guaranteed analysis, which would be the protein, fat, and fiber. So on Cool Birds, it's 18%, 40%, and 19% respectively of protein, fat, and fiber. Over here, it is 9, 4, and 8%, either half or 10 times less on this mix over here. Let me also read the ingredients here. Over here, we've got milo, millet, wheat, sunflower seed, calcium carbonate, supplement, and vegetable oil. Over here, we have sunflower seed, peanuts, mixed nuts, safflower seed, pumpkin seed, raisins, and papaya. That's it. So it is really the premium mix out there. And to me, if I'm going to invest in bringing more birds into the garden, I'm going to do it the right way, much like I would care for the soil in my garden, or I would not spray pesticides all over my plants. So Jacques and I are both huge fans of Cool Birds. We're thankful for them for sponsoring the channel, bringing you videos like this, and you can grab them at the link in the description or on Amazon. But there's still more to know about bringing birds to your garden, namely giving them somewhere to live.
It's one thing to attract birds to your yard, but how do you actually get them to stay? Well, the best way is to actually build them the perfect home. Now, this was a birdhouse that I built for a house or Buick's friend. And here's the thing, you don't have to just guess on what kind of birdhouse to build. You could go to nestwatch.org and find the exact plans for the birds in your region and build them the right house. This one will be perfect for either one, and I'm going to hang it up by my compost bin where I always see them hanging around, eating all sorts of insects, flies, and pests that otherwise would be plaguing my garden. And when you're hanging your birdhouse, you want to make sure you're about 5 to 10 feet off the ground. So I'm over here on my shed where it should be nice and safe. Now my birds have safe shelter, plenty of water, and delicious bird feed from Cool Birds, which again, you could get from Amazon. And thank you guys for watching. Good luck in the garden and keep on growing.